How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're testing out the newest innovation in disc golf. So you may have heard of Q-Line and all these different sided discs, but I think one of the coolest things that disc golf has done recently is a collaboration with none other than Nerf. Today we're testing out the entire Nerf line through Prodigy. We're gonna see how they fly. I've tried to avoid all of the videos that I've seen online because I know I'm a little bit behind, but I haven't felt these yet. I haven't opened these, I haven't thrown these. I've tried to not look at any of the videos. So we're gonna see how they are, give you an honest review, and then maybe give one away at the end of the video. Let's see. All right, so like I said, I have all four of the Nerf discs, the Soft Flight foam discs. I grew up with Nerf, so I have a feeling this feel is gonna be very nostalgic for me. We have the driver, the mid-range, the putter, and then the ultimate disc, which I wasn't really expecting when you think about disc golf sets, but let's see how they feel. Open up this driver. Wow, they are very light. I have seen that they're like 100 grams, I think. They're soft, but they're not like gum putt soft. You can actually feel that you can throw these. I wasn't too sure. I thought they might be too soft, kind of like the old Flubby Wubbies from Dynamic back in the day. But you can actually, I feel like you could grip this and actually throw it. So I'm gonna open up the rest of these. I'm gonna play a couple holes, give you some good reviews, hopefully throw some backhand and forehand and some up shots with all the different discs, and we'll see how they fly. I'm gonna try and throw the shot that I would normally throw if I had my bag. So hole one, I'm gonna throw a mid-range because I would normally throw a buzz. Hole two, I'll probably throw a driver because I normally throw like a Raptor. So I'm gonna try and keep it as similar as possible to really see how much the Nerf foam affects the flight and even the weight. There's a little bit of breeze out here, but it shouldn't be too bad. But I think the 100 so grams that they are, it's gonna be interesting. So let's get into it. All right, so hole one out here is 285 feet, just straight through the gap there. So we're gonna try and throw the mid-range out there and see what it does. Felt good out of hand. Turned it over almost to the other position over there, but not bad, just gotta adjust to it. I think honestly on that first shot, I was trying to throw it extra hard because of the weight. I wanted to get it all the way here, and that's what made me turn it over. So, I mean, we're 50 feet short of the B position, just a little bit off to the right. We're gonna try and throw probably a backhand putter up there. Doesn't get much better than that. All right, hole two is a 316-foot hyzer. I don't know if you can see, there's a guy playing basketball behind me. I almost don't want to tell him that I'm throwing because it's Nerf. It shouldn't hurt. I'm still going to, don't worry. But like I said, I normally throw like a Raptor or something over the basketball court and just let it fade right in. We're gonna throw the driver. It looks to be maybe a 10 speed in width, maybe a 9. So we're gonna see how similar that really flies. All right, so like I said, I'm gonna try and mix in as many different shots as I can. So I'm gonna go mid-range forehand. I wouldn't normally do this. I might jump put with my regular bag. I might go zone forehand. So let's see, just pop this straight, see if it'll fade towards the basket. That's not exactly what I wanted. It is definitely flippy. It ended up fine. I'm just not gonna tell you where I was aiming. Moving for my first real putt. Give you a look at the putter if it'll focus. There's this like micro bead on there, but it's pretty boxy. It looks, I mean, very PA3 like, which coming from Prodigy, I'm not surprised. It's probably one of their best sellers. Definitely their best putter. So we'll see. As much as I want to say like that putter doesn't glide, I'm probably just going to call that user error on that one. That was not good. All right, hole three looks like it's in the par 4 position, just over 400 feet up the hill, road OB on the right, so I can't turn any of these over. Woods left, so I really just got to find the middle of the fairway and navigate some trees up to the basket. I'm liking the driver. It pushes it, and it doesn't really flip up. Kind of pushes straight and just has a nice fade. There's not a ton of glide. I assume that's probably because they're 100 grams. But I'm liking that one so far. All right, second shot here. Basket's back behind all those trees back in the sunlight. There's a little bit of head right to left wind. I think I'm gonna throw the mid-range up the left side and trust that it turns the way that it has the last couple shots. Try and get through the gap. Got like all the way through, hit a late tree, kind of flared. I think it should be a putt. Got another decent length putt. There's some more wind up here at the top of the hill, so I'm gonna try and put some more on it, see if I can keep the nose up and let it really get glide to the basket, and see if it really was user error on the last hole, if it's the putt. All right, hole 4. I've got this tight wooded gap here, and then it does go out the gap to the right. I think I'm gonna try my first forehand with the driver. Again, if you know me, you know I'm not a forehand guy. And on the last forehand, the grip was a little odd just with the way that the foam is. But we're gonna try and just punch it flat through the gap and see if it'll fade towards the basket. I didn't go where I wanted it, but it kind of flew nice. It flew high left and flat, no wobble. I think that's just the weight. I'm not that good. And we'll have a nice little upshot. They're a pretty long upshot, probably like 130 feet. Basket's behind the wall of trees there. I'm probably just gonna have to go like backhand putter through the right gap and hopefully leave myself a putt, because we know how much I love putting. The other option is I'm going to early release it through the middle gap and just hit the last tree and still have a putt. I really want to make a putt with one of these. It would feel really good. I also just want to make a putt in general, so let's make this one the one to make. All right, before we go any further, I just want to tell you something really cool that we get to be a part of, and that's called Disc Golf Devo. What Disc Golf Devo is devotionals that are sent out to your email right alongside the Disc Golf Pro Tour and Major schedule. So these are devotionals written by disc golfers for disc golfers, for those people who are on tour and on the road and can't get to their home church, or those weekend warriors playing 8 years out of state that are also can't get to their home church, and just you wanting to wake up on a Saturday and have some devotional time before you're round. So if you want to receive these in your email, you can click the link down below, and these will be sent to you, like I said, right alongside the Disc Golf Pro Tour schedule at 8 a.m. Central Time. So be on the lookout for that. Click the link in the description if you aren't signed up already, and you'll be receiving these emails right alongside the DGPT. All right, hole 5 is a 470-foot par 4. Got to get out this small gap here, turning right, and then you have a nice little upshot to the basket underneath some trees. I've thrown each of these except for the ultimate disc. I'm not going to do that on the tee, but I think I'm going to go turnover driver, trying to manipulate the angle on it, and then ultimate disc for my upshot and see how this flies. I don't know if there's wind out there, but I really like the integrity of the driver. Put that on a decent amount of anhyzer, turned the whole way, and even at the bottom of the hill, faded out and even got a little bit of a skip. Got some decent distance off the tee shot. Like I said, I'm gonna go the ultimate disc here. Might not be the best disc for the shot I have, but it's the only one I haven't thrown, and I don't want to go the whole day without throwing it. Now, part of that I'm sure is I'm not the best at throwing ultimate discs, but we had a tailwind, and I tried to give it some air and some hyzer, and it basically rolled. Now, playing catch with those is probably great. Like I said, I'm not the best at ultimate discs in the first place. I'll give that one another shot. All right, so what I was gonna do, I'm just gonna give the ultimate disc another shot. Gonna put it out around to the right side of the trees and just see if I can get it right next to the basket. Not a long shot. I mean, it's been high like 10 feet. I actually kind of like that, but it really had to soften. That's the secret to putting with the Nerf discs. You just got to give them spin and power and they'll fly. I'll give you my final thoughts on what I thought about all these Nerf discs. Overall, I love the feel. It's very nostalgic to me, like I kind of figured it would be. Nerf is something that I grew up with, all kinds of Nerf stuff, so being an adult now, it's kind of great. But as far as flight goes, I'm just gonna rule this one out, the Ultimate Disc. I'm not good at those really touchy, wristy shots. I feel like I can't give this one a fair shot. I might have some friends check it out and see what they think. But for me, not great. I'm kind of glad it's not a traditional disc golf use disc, because it would not be my favorite at all. The mid-range is number 3 for me. It was very flippy. I don't know if it's the wind I had or the exact one that I had or the weight. Didn't feel like I could really do much with it. It was very touchy. Had to know how much hyzer to put it on, but couldn't give it too much height to flip and fly. Not bad. I mean, it feels good. The mold itself feels good. But the flight wasn't really great for me. I was hoping for something a little bit more neutral. Next is gonna be the putter. I really like the feel. I mean, like I said, it feels just like a PA3, so you can't really go wrong there being from Prodigy. Ended up making a couple decent putts with it, so I can't say it was awful. Throwing it feels pretty good. You know, like I said, you pop it on a little bit of hyzer, just kind of pushes straight and fades out at the end. I'm sure if I were to throw it a little bit more, throw it flat, it would get obviously more distance and then some more just straight push through the flight. And finally, my favorite is the driver. To be honest, coming into this is not what I would have expected. You know, with the foam itself, I didn't think I could get a good grip on it, but it's solid enough on the rim that you can get a full grip and a full flight out of it. You don't have to really soften up on how you throw it. And it flies great. You know, I was able to just hit it on some anhyzer, let it flex, which I mean, if you look at it, you can really see how it would flex. But I really like the feel of it. I really like the flight. Overall, this is my top Nerf disc. But again, I really enjoyed all of them. Pick some up for yourself. We have some on discandisciples.com. Try them out for yourself. But if you want one without having to buy it, comment down below. We're going to be giving one of these away. Comment down below which brand you want to see disc golf collaborate with next. Whether it be apparel, I know a lot of people would love a Nike sponsorship, or something else like Nerf, where it's something that just completely reinvents what disc golf looks like in this branding. Comment down below, make sure you're subscribed and like this video and comment for your chance to win one of these 4 Nerf disc golf discs. We'll see you in the next one, and until then, continue to throw to the glory of God.